One of the biggest mysteries in Peppa Pig is the strange fact that there are multiple Miss Rabbits scattered around the world. But maybe it's not as creepy as it seems. Have you ever stopped to think that, in reality, there's a third rabbit sister who was never confirmed in the show and has been secretly working behind the scenes? The whole mystery of the third rabbit sister starts with Grandpa Rabbit, their father. Let's remember that his name is Reggie Rabbit, and we learn this information in one of the most important episodes in the entire series. In the episode The Sea Treasure, Peppa and George are camping on the beach with Grandpa and Granny Pig. When the little ones are near the water, they find a bottle with a message inside. In the message, a little rabbit named Reggie says he's on the beach with his parents enjoying the holiday and leaves a phone number. When the Pig family calls the number, Grandpa Rabbit answers and says he left that bottle on the beach 100 years ago. That means Grandpa Rabbit is a century old. But what does that actually mean? In case you didn't know, rabbits can have up to 50 babies per year, which is a lot. In fact, the fact that Grandpa Rabbit is so old explains why there are so many Miss Rabbits all over the world. But we're here to talk about the unknown third sister, who we've probably never seen. Or has she always been there and no one noticed? Everyone knows that Peppa Pig takes place in England, which means most of the characters live there. This is important because when we looked up Miss Rabbit on the official Peppa website, we discovered something surprising. Miss Rabbit has approximately 47 different jobs, and none of it makes sense, right? Wrong. It actually makes perfect sense because, as we explained, Grandpa Rabbit is over 100 years old and had many babies, or rather, he had 3 daughters who take care of all the work. The 2 known daughters are Mummy Rabbit, who is Rebecca and Richard's mom, and her sister, who works more than anyone else, Miss Rabbit. If you pay close attention, you'll realize it's impossible for Miss Rabbit to be the only one handling so many jobs. But if there's a third sister, then the 2 of them could be sharing the workload. Besides, it's a mistake to think Miss Rabbit wouldn't have time to do all these things for a very simple reason. Peppa's town is a small place with very few residents. It's not like London or New York. For all of these reasons, we believe that the third rabbit sister has always existed and has been hiding, pretending to be Miss Rabbit. But not because she's evil, just because she's so busy she doesn't have time to chat with the neighbors. If you think you've never seen the third rabbit sister, we're about to solve this mystery right now. She's actually appeared in the episode Golden Boots, when Peppa and her friends have a competition to see who can jump best in muddy puddles. Unfortunately, Peppa loses her boots to a dove, who steals them. The bird thinks they look nice and decides to keep them, but Peppa isn't about to give up her favorite shoes so easily. What Peppa didn't realize is that ducks can fly, even while wearing boots. Peppa's friends say the bird flew to the moon to escape, and to get there, they'll need help from Grandpa Rabbit and his rocket. When they arrive in space, a huge surprise happens. There's a shop on the moon run by Miss Rabbit. She says she hasn't had a customer in years. That means this character is definitely the third rabbit sister, for one simple reason. If she's been on the moon for so long, then she couldn't be in Peppa's town at the same time. In other words, this is clear proof that there is another daughter of Grandpa Rabbit on the moon, working in a shop. But the biggest mystery here is, why would she have a job in a place where no one lives? And you, would you like to buy something from the space store? Comment #Moon so we can get to know each other. There's a very important moment in Peppa Pig when Miss Rabbit meets her long-lost triplet sister. In the episode America, Super Potato announces on TV that there's a big promotion going on. Whoever finds the golden ticket inside a potato will get the chance to be part of the superhero's new movie. Of course, the Pig family ends up being the lucky winners, so they set off on a trip to the United States. Miss Rabbit is the one piloting the plane to America, and as everyone knows, she's also the one who sells tickets at the airport back home. But when they land in New York, the Miss Rabbit who flew the plane meets a taxi driver who's supposed to take Peppa and her family to their hotel. Peppa gets confused and asks which one is the real Miss Rabbit. That's when the third sister reveals that in every city, there's a Miss Rabbit. This revelation is a big deal because it's the very first time the triplet sisters are seen together. If there's a Miss Rabbit in every city in the world, this could be a clue that Grandpa Reggie really did have a huge number of babies with his wife, which for rabbits is totally normal. Later in the US, we also see the character in Texas running a restaurant and even piloting a helicopter for tourists visiting the Grand Canyon. Throughout Peppa's trip to America, the third sister kept an eye on them in multiple locations. She isn't just another Miss Rabbit, she's the unknown triplet, and we have proof. It all comes down to television. Peppa Pig is a show that follows the adventures of Peppa and her family. But did you know that everything happening in the show is actually part of an in-universe TV program? And not the Peppa Pig show we watch, but a TV show that exists inside the animated series itself. In the episode where Peppa visits the city's TV studios, we found out that the third rabbit sister works there as one of the executives running the shows. In one scene, she asks Peppa to stand in front of the camera. Peppa doesn't realize she's live on air, and what we see is the exact opening sequence of the animated series where she introduces her family. What Peppa doesn't know is that a secret TV show is documenting her family's life, and the third rabbit sister is the one filming everything in secret. That's why it seems like Miss Rabbit is everywhere, but that's not actually the case. The truth is that the third sister is only following Peppa's family. Since the TV show is about the Pig family, Grandpa Rabbit's daughter is always around. But why is she hiding and pretending to be another sister? The answer is simple. The third rabbit sister can't reveal herself to Peppa because the TV show about the Pig family is a secret, and Peppa's family must never find out about it. You've probably heard the theory that Grandpa Pig, Mommy Pig, and Aunt Dottie's father was once a dangerous pirate. The truth is, the third rabbit sister is spying on the Pig family because she wants to uncover the secrets of the old sailor. One major clue that Grandpa Pig was actually a dangerous sailor is the fact that Polly, his pet parrot, appears in a picture next to the pirate Redbeard in the episode Children's Festival. Now do you see why the TV show is a secret? The third rabbit sister is hiding so she can investigate Peppa's family. Another theory suggests that the third rabbit sister is factually Mademoiselle Lupin. Do you remember her? During Peppa's trip to France, she points at a familiar-looking character. She says she sees Miss Rabbit, but the character corrects her, explaining that she's not Miss Rabbit, but Mademoiselle Lupin, which literally translates to Miss Rabbit. However, unlike the theory about the secret TV show, the French third sister doesn't need to pretend to be the Miss Rabbit we all know. Mademoiselle Lupin clearly states that she is not Miss Rabbit. She's a different character who lives in France and owns a shop next to the Eiffel Tower. This confirms that there are actually three rabbit sisters, the mother of Rebecca and Richard Rabbit, Miss Rabbit, who somehow works over 50 different jobs, Mademoiselle Lupin, who was likely born and raised in France. Do you know where you could live? In the world of our channel's fans. Click subscribe and turn on the notification bell. There's another theory that makes a lot of sense. You've probably noticed that Miss Rabbit is the one flying rescue helicopters and airplanes, but isn't that something incredibly hard to do? Of course it is. The only way to learn these skills is through years of training, but that wouldn't be possible for Miss Rabbit because she's already too busy with all her other jobs, like running the shoe store, selling ice cream, working at the supermarket, and being a nurse at the hospital. Each of these jobs requires someone to be there every single day, so there's no way she could also be a full-time pilot, unless she had a sister who could help her out. Wouldn't that make a lot of sense? We believe that the third sister is the one stepping in whenever Miss Rabbit needs to rescue someone or fly a plane. That explains everything. Do you remember when Peppa and her family traveled to Italy? During all the episodes where they vacation in Rome, something really strange happens. There is no Miss Rabbit in Italy. But wait, that goes against what Miss Rabbit herself said about there being one of her in every city, right? Well, the answer is actually pretty simple. When the Pig family flies to Italy, Miss Rabbit is the one selling tickets at the airport and also the flight attendant inside the plane. But isn't that weird? Normally, she's the pilot, right? The reason there's no Miss Rabbit in Italy is because, as we explained before, the third sister doesn't know how to fly planes. Only the real Miss Rabbit has that skill. So when the plane returned to England, the third sister was on board as well. The third sister doesn't know how to fly a plane because she spends all her time managing this rabbit's other jobs. This is just more proof that Grandpa Reggie Rabbit had another daughter. It's amazing how Peppa Pig is full of hidden mysteries that you can only uncover if you pay close attention to the details. Luckily, you're a fan of our channel, so you get to know all these secrets. That's why we picked out 2 more videos for you to enjoy and uncover even more animation secrets. See you in the next one, coming up right now. See you soon!